guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am finally sharing my final thoughts on the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. So let me just say it's going to be back in stock on the 18th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully this video is up by then. But I just kind of wanted to go in and start. Let me just show you the packaging and everything you get first. So the palette comes in a cardboard box like this, and it has the Jaclyn Hill and then just kind of like everything, like her bio, the pictures, etc. And then you have, what mine came with was a little card that looks like this, and on here is where the names are. So I've heard that some people haven't been receiving this insert in their boxes. I'm not too sure what the whole deal is, but that's where all the names, I don't know if you'll see, but that's where like all the names of the colors are. And then when you do get the palette, it comes like this, and then you get like, there's a plastic insert that lays on top of the eyeshadows. So that's what you get. The palette retails for $38. There's discount codes and stuff. You could use Jaclyn's discount code. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure she has it everywhere on her Instagram regarding her palette. So let's just talk about what you get. So we'll open up the palette. It's a cardboard palette, and it's one of those thicker cardboards rather than just the thin cardboard palettes that maybe, I think it's a little bit thicker. If you've ever tried the Balms palette, a lot of them are cardboard, but they're a little thinner on the thinner side. This is a pretty thick cardboard. You have the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is embossed onto the actual packaging in a metallic silver. And then on the back you have Morphe and Jaclyn Hill, and then there's JH's all over the back. So that's what it looks like. Again, it's a pearlescent cardboard packaging. Now, when you open the palette, you have, it's a magnetic closure. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but that's that. You have the inside, which is a darker silver, and it talks about the palette. You can see the magnets for the palette right here. So again, a little message from Jaclyn, and then you get, you get the eyeshadows. So this is what the eyeshadows look like. You have a nice range of mattes, neutrals, shimmers, and pops of color, and that's basically what this palette is. So that's that. Alrighty, so now let me get into my review of this palette and everything. And so this is where I am a little torn about this palette. So I've tried it out, I've tried multiple colors out, and I have to say, I think this palette is great for those, if I'm getting straight to the point, it's great for those who are missing or are starting a new collection. And what I mean by that is it's good for those who are getting into makeup. I think it's great for those who are looking for a pretty cheap alternative to those larger palettes that you may see online from other retailers. And I think it's great for those who want to stick with neutrals but want to go kind of experiment with color. Now, the thing is, it's that personally for me, if this was named any other palette, I would probably think it's a meh. You know, it's one of those palettes where I have a lot of these colors. They may be in other palettes and other places, but I know I have colors like these. And so that's kind of where my whole thing is. I think if you are starting a new collection, or someone who's just getting into makeup, somebody who is very interested in, you know, starting to branch out into eyeshadows. Maybe you never always did eyeshadow, or maybe you just wanted to start getting into it. Whatever it may be, this is a great palette for you. Now, does that mean that you necessarily have to get to this palette? No. This palette, I definitely think, is something that you want to invest in if you are a big fan of Jaclyn Hill and you want to support what she does. Now, I love supporting YouTubers because, hey, they made it, you know? They are able to do collaborations like these, and it was all on their hard work and determination and passion, and I love supporting that. I really, really do. That's why I didn't mind spending the money, and plus I had a gift card, so, you know. But I like supporting YouTubers when they get to a point where they are putting out products like this. Now, for somebody who is just, if you're someone who just likes makeup, period, then this may not necessarily be a palette that you're going to be wanting to wake up at 7:58 to make sure that you're logged into Morphe and you can automatically add that palette to your cart and check out. It's not that, because like I said, it's a lot of neutral colors. It's a lot of colors that I'm pretty sure I have somewhere in my collection roaming around. It's not something that, you know, I would necessarily wait in line for. It's not, there aren't colors in here that I'm completely gaga over. And that's the thing that makes a palette for me and it makes something worth it for me. Is there something in there that I am completely head over heels for? Here are my gripes with the palette itself. So I guess that my number one gripe with the palette is the fact that these two colors for highlighting your brow bone, they're extremely frosty, and I don't know if it's just my skin tone. I don't know what it is, but these are a little too frosty for my taste. I love using MAC's rice paper to highlight my brow bone, or even just a matte cream eyeshadow. I love those, but these tend to be a little on the frosty side, and so I'm not a huge fan of that. Another gripe that I have, oh my gosh, another gripe that I have, and I mentioned it in my first review, is, or my first impression, are these colors down here, the matte darker colors. A part of me really thinks that it wasn't necessary to have all of these in here, but at the same time, a part of me feels like, you know, if you do a really good job at blending them out, you're gonna see the huge contrast between them. But I know for myself, majority of the time, I'm just gonna use them as is. You know, I'm just gonna use them, pop it in my outer corner, and that's it. So that is basically my gripe with it. I mean, it's like I said, it's still a very solid palette. I think if you're getting into makeup, this is something to really look at because it's a really good deal for what you get. But is it something unique? Is it something brand new to the market that we haven't seen before? No, not really. So like I said, this palette will be something that if you like to support YouTubers, if you like to support Jaclyn Hill, if you love what she does, etc., all those positive things, then yes, definitely pick up this palette. Definitely, you know, show the love. It's a really great palette. It's a solid palette. But if you're somebody who doesn't know who Jaclyn Hill is, who doesn't understand the hype, who is just looking for an easy makeup palette, then maybe this isn't necessarily the palette for you. There are a lot of other palettes out there, even on Morphe's website, that will give you the same results, and you don't have to wake up at 8 o'clock and hope that you're still gonna be able to get your hands on this. It's not one of those palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope that it made sense. The pigmentation on these are pretty spot on, I have to say. I haven't been disappointed with any of the colors that I've tried, and I've tried almost all of them. There are very few that I haven't tried, but I've tried a decent amount of them. And so, like I said, these colors are pretty spot on. The pigmentation is amazing, but, you know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know if you've tried the Morphe palette and what your thoughts and opinions are. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Also, if you're interested in reading the full review, go ahead and check out my blog, chowchow808.com. That way, I go more in depth. I give you better close-ups of a lot of the colors and just kind of talk a little bit more about what the palette is and more into my thoughts on it. Also, if you're interested in seeing the products that I'm currently testing out, the products that I hauled, whatever it may be, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's chowchow808. Until then, I hope you guys have a great night or day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video.